Hey everybody, this is Way to Fail back with another Scrolls ranked replay where today we have a game between Nixx and Virginslayer. This is going to be a fun one. Both of these players are rated over 2,000, or at least at the time of recording they're over 2,000, so it's a top 100 game. Nixx doing the usual pleasantries, good luck, have fun, and he is going with a sort of standard growth decay deck, at least from the start of it, looking as Blightbear. And we're going to be watching from Nixx's perspective today. But goes ahead and keeps his two Sisters of the Fox and actually shows his growth first, at least to try and get out his Sisters of the Fox. Not always the most common move in these kind of decks. Virginslayer, on the other hand, sacrificing straight for decay. So right away, Nixx showing that, at least from his hand, this is looks to be maybe possibly a decay draw deck. Return to Nature, certainly a very powerful ramp card. Gets a Necrogeddon as well, so we're going to be seeing a lot of the old decay staples. I guess you can call them old now, it's a new resource. Virginslayer with 2 here as Nixx. Yep, definitely going with some of the familiar low-cost growth cards. Frostgale can be very good, especially when comboed with Return to Nature. But, I mean, that just means those sisters are not going to be very pleased one way or the other. But Virgin still having to put a card down on the board, and Nixx is going to be able to respond with the Languid if he wants to, or possibly with something else. But at this point, Nixx getting a Oblivion Seeker and sacrificing it because he still needs his decay, elects to put the Rot Eater on and draws a second Necrogeddon. Cards that maybe you want later, but definitely not getting first. The Sister of the Fox does the first idle damage, as now this poor Rot Eater is at least looking to possibly take 1 damage unless Virgin has something to drop in front of it. He doesn't. Instead, he puts the Cursemonger up top. So Cursemonger, very good to get early. Nixx getting a Harvester, which he should be able to drop here unless he puts the Blightbearer down, which is exactly what he does. So at least the Blightbearer is going to protect a little bit against the possible attack by the Ilmar Rot Eater, if that's what Virgin decides to do here. Although got to be a little mindful of what goes on with the Blightbearer here, because if it dies, it will poison that sister and kill it as well. But Virgin dropping the Oblivion Seeker down. This could be a interesting sacrifice the Oblivion Seeker in some way and ramp up the Rot Eater just a little bit. Meanwhile, Nixx getting a Damning Curse, which is useful, but Languid on the Oblivion Seeker just means it's a 3 health wall that draws cards. So not too much to it right now. There is going to be probably a Curse getting dropped by Virginslayer next turn, unless he wants to actually use the Cursemonger to kill the Blightbearer, problem being that that will poison and kill the Cursemonger, so instead we're going to see a Curse there. And keep in mind, with Brain Lice, that means that guy's dead soon. And look at that very nice play by Virginslayer early, using the poison to get the Oblivion Seeker to where it's going to die in 3 turns no matter what. The Curse hitting the Blightbearer. Overall, nice clean play here. Nixx, however, let's see here, he does have some cards that he could possibly respond with, although Return to Nature of Frostgale could be useful at this point. I'm sure he'd love to take out the Cursemonger in some way, shape, or form with that. So Nixx having a bit of a question about what happened, and that's what happens when you're going in real time in the game versus looking at and following up and seeing what's going on here. But that's poison for you. That's how the sister dies. So after this small conversation, Nixx dropping the Damning Curse, killing his other sister, clearing his own board. Not too much to do other than just have Virginslayer at least getting a little bit of control here, getting out another Oblivion Seeker, so both players looking to use Decay's draw capabilities to their advantage. But right now, just some scant idle damage. Not too much else. There is a Puppet Nutrition, which, keep in mind, this is a video that's pre-nerf, and I know some people will tell me, well, why are you still playing Puppet Nutrition, even though you got to get used to adapting to a post-Puppet Nutrition world, as we're going to see the Return to Nature Frostgale right there. So this Oblivion Seeker has 2 health left. Better to save the Puppet Nutrition. I mean, it's still in the game, at least for now. And even then, Puppet Soldier Burn could be a thing in the future. I don't know. But right now, Virgin sacking for some growth, getting out a Blightbearer. So he still does have some control, but Nixx having a lot of possible ways to respond as he gets out a Rot Eater for himself. And until Virgin shows that he has some order in his hand, if he does at all, this poor Blightbearer is not going to be able to speed up at all whatsoever. So Sister of the Fox for Virginslayer, it feels like we're watching a mirror match of nearly exact same decks. But still, that does highlight 2 things. 1, who has the better draws, and 2, who possibly is the better player. So the question now is Nixx actually going to try and Puppet Nutrition something here with this spread, or is he going to Frostgale? So there's the Frostgale, and he doesn't have too much to follow up with, although he can Soul... No, he can't. He can only Soulless Steal the Oblivion Seeker, which is not great, but there we go. Interesting play there. Puppet Nutrition really did not want that Blightbearer going to town. Some people would say that's a poor 1-for-2 trade, but getting a key creature can also be useful. However, Virginslayer with the Soul Steal right back, so a good attack that would have been on the way to possibly hurt this Cursemonger no more. However, Nixx getting an interesting card here. He could drop a Rat King, as we're kind of seeing the 4 resource breakpoint for both of these resources to see what goes on here. However, Nixx could possibly return to nature and then Soul Steal the Cursemonger, but instead he's going to elect to play the Harvester and save those killing blows for next turn. Unfortunately, that Rod Eater is going to die because of the curse. Nixx could have attempted to try and whittle down the Harvester's health, but probably better just get rid of the Rod Eater before it can get too massive. So I guess the question now is can Nixx actually ramp up all of his cards as needed? There is the Return to Nature. He does have the resources now. All he has to do is Soul Steal. He Soul Steals to give more cards, and there's the Cursemonger gone right there. So Nixx, with the right cards in hand, able to flip this around. However, Virginslayer still very much in it, with a 9-2 card advantage right now. So it almost plays in the Virgin's hands. He does get the Damning Curse off, but not before the damage had been done by the Harvester, as there's one Ilmire Shambler / Muckhead, whatever you want to call it, left. Nixx with 2 Rat Kings. That's a interesting place to be, because that's a lot of creatures you can drop out. Not many people playing Decay play Mire Curse or any of those cards that can really damage low health spread units like this. But right now Nixx spreading his cards because we still are in a puppet nutrition world. Which it's a good nerf, I fully support it, but I mean the game's the game right now. So how's Virginslayer respond? We get the Brain Lice and a Blightbearer. So other words, just still 8 cards. It looks like there's a play he wants to make, he's just not able to yet. And I don't know, Rat King never seems to do too great for me, but sitting across the table I can see where it is super scary. So it's here, there's a Brain Lice on the Blightbearer, which means he could possibly poison himself to death in a short while. In fact, this could be an issue where Nixx wants to poison his own Oblivion Seeker for the same reason Virgin did before. So there's Return to Nature. Combo right back. Virginslayer getting his Darkling on the board, and, well, what else are you going to do at this point? Not too much. Nixx could Brain Lice again, get an extra card draw. But he does elect to put down another Oblivion Seeker. He does let this guy attack. So right now it is a 2 health Walders. Certainly the Blightbearer has options. It's now going to die before it can attack. So there's a Fertile Soil on there. Very good. And by the way, in case you're wondering why Virginslayer Fertile Soil there, is because the Blightbearer, it takes its poison damage before the attack, so it wouldn't have killed the Oblivion Seeker anyway. Granted, Nixx, both of his guys are still poisoned, so he's going to be getting plenty of card draw here, but the idea is to ramp up the Harvester. So Nixx at turn 16. Plenty of poison here, some Puppet Nutrition once again. Soul Steal as well, but there's the Damning Curse. So he's going to be getting some extra cards. Look at that card advantage all of a sudden. This is like a go draw game almost, where both players, they don't maybe have a zillion resources from monuments, but they do have cards and cards and cards and cards. And this is where maybe the Decay matchup kind of is still, because not all the, or kind of still maybe a little stagnant in that not all the cards are fleshed out or brought on. Because right now you get decks that really focus on removing a lot of creatures, removing some damage. And I have seen a few commenters lament that a little bit, because it is a lot about destroying creatures before they can attack. It doesn't help that Decay's attacks slow quite a bit. But we have here just pretty much a simple board clear. Virgin getting his creatures back on the board, and Nixx having a lot of cards to respond, but at this point it's going to be a matter of who has the resources to flesh out what cards, because, as some people would say, thank goodness Decay does not have some addition of Imperial resources. However, Rat King synergizing very well with the Rod Eater if it's something where all of his creatures are going to die. Frostgale, this could be a possibility, and Return to Nature, so this is going to be a very beefy Rod Eater. Damning Curse, and it's, or Damning Curse there, so there's a board clear for Virginslayer. What was I saying before? You get those guys out, but Virgin having the cards to respond is one idol starting to get whittled down. And the Cursemonger could potentially take it out depending on what's going on. Nixx with the Damning Curse, does he want to use it on the Harvester right now, or does he want to wait for a higher priority target? And he's going to elect to get rid of the Harvester, get out his own Sister of the Fox, draw another creature, Brain Lice as well. So that Cursemonger is going to get one attack off. But the Loyal Darkling just means that that idol is going to die eventually anyway. So Virgin definitely holding his own. Nixx holding on to a Puppet Soldier and holding on to some Necrogeddons, but unfortunately unable to get cards out enough to really play games with the Necrogeddon creature spam. However, he does get some more Rat Kings, or he gets another Rat King out, and Rat King's really nice with Necrogeddon, as we see here. He's just trying to push something out at this point. So there are a bunch of hasted units, and they're going to go just on the attack or prowl. Now, this once again means an idol's down for Nixx. Virgin's going to get more cards out of this, but it's an idol each. And that Cursemonger is dead, so Nixx suddenly with quite the advantage here. But of course, Frostgale, 2 Frostgales from Virginslayer means that we have a total board clear. And Virginslayer just getting his creature back, or getting his Darkling back on the board, getting a Harvester out. Multiple Darklings, in fact. So it looks like Virgin's going to be putting pressure on the bottom of the board. And Nixx with plenty of cards, but not necessarily the cards to respond. A Damning Curse will be good against the Harvester. A Puppet Soldier Nutrition just means 4 idle damage here, but it looks like he's going to do just that anyway. He's going to take the idle damage to get the creatures out. Unfortunately, that does knock the cooldown of the Harvester just a little bit, and depending on what Virgin has, well, I don't know if Nixx necessarily has enough creatures out to make that work, but it is entirely possible that Virgin could make some things happen with the Harvester, if not this turn, next turn, depending. But there's a Fertile Soil. Is what do we go? 2 just kind of decay draw decks, and we get a lot of draws. No wonder you have a very long game here. That Harvester, something's got to happen to it. It's got to be a Damning Curse right here. So there we go. That leaves a 5/5 Rot Eater, which is pretty awful in of itself, but there is a Languid in his hand if he wants to do something. Instead, he's going to use the Cursemonger, just playing on the fact that Virgin likely does not have anything to speed up that Rot Eater. But still, there's pressure on the bottom here. Notice both of these players not showing any order at this point. You would have seen it by now. But Nixx, what's he going to do? Can he do anything to kind of get this going? I mean, he does have a Puppet Nutrition, and that would be a pretty nice way to kind of obliterate that row of 2 creatures right there. And that's looking like that's what we're going to do. Just taking out the Rot Eater before it gets to really do a whole lot of good. And once again, that's the kind of play that Mojang has said they want to avoid, just because it does keep you off of playing on rows. But there we go. Puppet Nutrition still in the game. There we go. Nixx just moving his creatures around, trying to spread his units to avoid that. Virgin taking the calculated risk of putting his Oblivion Seeker up front. At least he gets more cards. Nixx down to 5. Both players getting quite a bit of resources here, so we're probably going to see, yep, another Puppet Nutrition. You've seen this dance before. The Harvester gone with a Damning Curse. And do we Soul Steal? Yes. So right away, Virginslayer still getting big creatures on the board. Nixx does have some things that he can possibly do. He could curse and then return to nature and Frostgale if he were to get one more growth, but I don't think he's going to be able to, because I think he already sacked for growth or sacked for decay. So there we go. Frostgale. Oh, right away. 2 Frostgales. So that's why he's got the cards, and he's seen them a little bit better than me. So good play there to get rid of the Rot Eater. No need to return to nature there when you have 2 Frostgales in your hand. Virginslayer, on the other hand, suddenly not in as great a position, and you got to be very mindful of the fact that that Rot Eater was surrounded by multiple creatures, but Necrogeddon just right away. And that Necrogeddon's actually going to poison the Cursemonger, and that Cursemonger is going to die next turn. Oh, so we are just getting into the grind of the game right now. Is Nixx going to Soul Steal Fertile Soil? That's a good question. It is a viable play, at least to try and get more cards. So there we go. Does he? And I guess he could Languid as well just to try and get more cards. No, he's going to double Soul Steal. So he's going to save the Languid for possibly a better card. But right now, still just kind of in a stalemate. We had some idle damage for a while, and now both players just trying to assert board control. Necrogeddon being a really good card to ramp things up. Nixx having a Rat King Necrogeddon combo, which is a little scary in of itself. There's the Fertile Soil. Just, oh my god, how many cards is that? 6 cards? 5 cards, but you have to spend 2 cards. But a 3-card plus there for the Fertile Soil Oblivion Seeker. Now the question is, Nixx does not have a Damning Curse, but he does have, let's see here, he doesn't have a Puppet Soldier in his hand, but he does Languid, at least to try and get another card, because you don't want those Harvesters hanging around if you can avoid it. But expect to see the Necrogeddon here. Oh, that Rat King combo is just nuts. And unfortunately, well, let's see here. Actually, you know what? Moving the creatures around, you got to remember with Necrogeddon, it's a resummon of the creature. So you can get extra movement out of it. And he's actually going to have 5 Husk up here. That's where it is a devastating combo. Nixx getting down the second idol and taking out a Harvester as well. Good night. Shyamalan, I guess. But there are 5 husks right there, and Virginslayer with just a frost gale or something can go ahead and take them out. Instead, he's going to just poison. He has no Miasma Well. But he is playing some defensive puppet soldiers. That's interesting. You don't see that every day. But multiple poison on the husks right there before they can attack and obliterate everything else. Nixx going hard for just anything that he can possibly do to try and take out one more idol. Right now it looks like he's going to have 3 husks dying, which does play into his advantage a little bit unless Virginslayer's holding on to a damning curse, and considering he has 11 cards in his hand, he probably is. So Virgin's likely not going to let anything come of that harvester that's sitting out. Whew. Kind of a tough spot to be in as Virgin gets out a harvester of his own, and there's the damning curse. Languid as well. So those poisons are going to pretty much knock down the cooldown for the most part. And Nixx probably wanting a puppet soldier or something to take care of that harvester right there, but not getting it, just not getting it. He does have some or actually there we go, damning curse. That's what I get for trying to stare at the cards a little too hard. So right now, no significant idol damage. There are multiple puppet soldiers, and really at this point, I mean, it's just got to be a matter of who is going to dig out that one big attack. These harvesters just keep getting knocked out by anything that, or by pretty much anything and everything at this point. But the damning curse leaving those husks vulnerable. Nixx, though, with another puppet soldier, with another nutrition, he could potentially take out so much. And there is the frost gale, which actually does damage the puppet soldier. So 2 frost gales, that's one way to mow the lawn, as it were. But Nixx, is he going to be able to do anything in time? He does have a puppet soldier, and he is going to nutrition to take out the harvester from the looks of it. There we go. So Blightbearer versus a cursemonger who's currently poisoned. There's the Rod Eater. Is this game going to have a resolution? At this point, both players are going to have to play their whole hand to maybe get something to work, because there's a Soul Steal, there's a Sister of the Fox. This is really a game of attrition by this point, as Virgin just getting out multiple cards, getting out lots of small creatures. If he can just keep a Rod Eater or something alive, as there's a nutrition just to try and buff up his creature a little bit. Languid as well. Still 7 cards in his hand after playing so many. Like I said, this is the go draw days once again. Nixx could return to nature and do some significant damage, but now he's got to start watching out for that Loyal Darkling and the direct idol damage. Furthermore, he could have played his Harvester and then returned to nature and gotten some bonus, I guess, health for killing. But, what can you do? There's an Oblivion Seeker coming to town. From the looks of it, Nixx may just be trying to set up to clear the board if he can just draw some form of Necrogeddon at some point, some way. Who knows? Virginslayer, on the other hand, getting out a Harvester of his own. Does he have the means to clear the board and activate his Harvester this turn? Oh no. Soul Steal as well. And that cooldown is down to 0. There goes a Harvester that was just getting ready to attack. He thought he was, I guess, I don't want to say something like, I'm a real boy or something, but there we go. 2 idols down for Virginslayer. Oh, that took a while. Like I said, it's going to take something where someone gets to drop their hand in an entire turn, play their Harvester, and run with it. So Nixx, I don't know. He's kind of in trouble, and I'm just looking at his hand here. He doesn't have the nutrition that maybe he wants, but he does have a damning curse for possibly the Harvester or for possibly the Ilmar Rod Eater. But goodness, oh, well, there's a Soul Steal on that. He is playing a defensive puppet soldier at this point. Not looking to damning curse. Doesn't have enough creatures to really take out anything and get the Harvester to go again. However, Virginslayer, if he does have a Fertile Soil, he could do it. Brain Lice on the Shambler. Mire Shambler, whatever you call it now. Fertile Soil as well. Can he get all of his creatures out? Can he actually get this play to go? I don't think so. That was a really interesting Fertile Soil. I guess he really wanted to get his countdown down. But unfortunately, Damning Curse on the Harvester once again. Just no telling what's going on. Almost a misplay there by Virginslayer to Fertile Soil the Rod Eater. Of course, we can't see his hand. He may have been fishing for cards. But Nixx, unfortunately, getting out another Harvester and not really having a way to get it going. He does have multiple Harvesters in his hand. So if he could play them all in one go, that is one way to try and dodge the Damning Curse. But unfortunately, Virgin just having not a lot of resources and a lot of cards. Somebody's going to take out an idol at some point. Nixx with the Damning Curse as well. Does he play both Harvesters this turn just to try and get them on the board, just to try and avoid something, anything. I don't know. There we go. Both harvesters. Not what you want to see on here, however. Virgin probably has some kind of puppet nutrition shenanigans, maybe a damning curse as well, because he could do both. He does have 12 cards. So there's the damning curse, takes out, draws even more cards with that extra damage. And not able to take out the other harvesters. So this is in play just a little bit. However, Virgin eyeing that bottom idol. Ho, so damning, so Rat King. Can Nixx actually get his harvester to go this turn? There's a damning curse for one. He could Rat King and double nutrition and do it. So this harvester, he's not going to be able to take out the whole idol. But he can double nutrition and get his harvester to possibly attack here. I'm sure he'd rather have a Necrogeddon, but instead he's going to sit. He's going to spread his board, try and protect his idols. Hope Virginslayer doesn't have something to totally obliterate his board. But there's the return to nature. There's the puppet soldier. There was the attack. Oh, does he have a nutrition? It doesn't look like he has a nutrition. He does have a curse monger, but unfortunately the attack of opportunity might have passed for Nixx. He's not going to be able to do anything other than get his poor harvester killed right now with the puppet soldier because it's just going to explode. That's got to be frustrating. He could have had that attack a turn earlier. But do we have the Necrogeddon play instead as a result, since that harvester isn't going to be able to do a lot of good? So there's the explosion. That's just too bad right there for Nixx. Virginslayer still with 10 cards, outdrawing Nixx like the Dickens, I guess you could say. Loyal Darkling as well. The idol damage of that last one not doing a lot of good this time, though. Virginslayer just really, really trying to get that last idol down, but not able to speed up his hand at all. Nixx, however, with Necrogeddon, with double Necrogeddon actually, if he can just get a bunch of stuff on the board right now, such as a Rat King, he could finish this. But he is not going to be able to finish it in one turn as the Loyal Darkling does do 5 idol damage here. I guess part of the question is, do we see the Necrogeddon now? It's not going to clear the board, though. So we do get a nutrition, and that nutrition does poison. Once again, do we get the Necrogeddon? I guess that's the question of the day. As we sit here, get more Rat King. Unfortunate placement for the rats. I'm sure he wanted some of those rats to go orient themselves in a different direction. But unfortunately, if the Necrogeddon play is coming, it's going to be at least to take out the Cursemonger. He's going to take out the Oblivion Seeker, which once again feeds Virginslayer more cards. So he's doing the draws for him. But extra idol damage right there as an interesting play once again by Nixx. He could have done 3 extra idol damage, but instead lets that poisoned guy die. And there's the total comeback. And there's a Puppet Soldier as well. Just Return to Nature, Frostgale. Very devastating combo. Just perfect counter for Necrogeddon. If only Virgin had a Harvester he could have had out as well. That would have been very, very, very tough. But right now, Nixx, what can he do? He can try and play some cards. And if he had possibly gone for the idol attack in the previous round, he could have been in a position to maybe end the game on a Necrogeddon in a turn or two. But at this point, Nixx still sitting and watching Virginslayer getting more creatures out, at least to be chump blockers, if nothing else. Another Harvester, and there's a Necrogeddon right there. Oh, wait a minute. Is this going to be it? There's a Frostgale as well. Yes, that's going to be the GG Virginslayer doing 6 idol damage just in the nick of time. And there we go, round 36. There's a win. Virginslayer overcoming and defeating Nixx, who I guess by the transitive property is a virgin. I don't know. Probably not. Who knows? But anyway, that is a Decay versus Decay game. Like I said, it is a game of attrition, and this is kind of the old style of Decay. It'll be interesting to see what cards change things when we get the changes in Puppet Nutrition, when we get the new creatures and cards that are coming for each resource in a future update. But at least for now, this is Way to Fail with it. What I thought was at least an entertaining Scrolls game. So thank you all for watching. I appreciate your continued viewership. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, thoughts, feel free to like or comment. Otherwise, I will see you all next time.